Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. I am absolutely pumped to be with you today. Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at applying the onlyOwner modifier. Look, if you're building smart contracts, you are essentially building an unhackable digital vault. And today we're going to learn exactly how to install the locks. So in our previous explainer, optimizing scripts for speed and efficiency, we spent a ton of time fine-tuning our code to run like a well-oiled machine. It was all about speed. But here's the massive million-dollar question we have to answer today. Your scripts are lightning fast, but are they actually secure? Because let's be totally honest here. Having the fastest smart contract on the blockchain is completely useless if anyone can just waltz right in and change the rules of your protocol. Speed without security, that's just a really fast way to get wrecked.
All right, let's get into Section 1, Smart Contract Security, and what I like to call the open door problem.
Imagine your smart contract is this ultra-exclusive VIP club. You hire a massive, tough bouncer to stand at the front door, right? But you completely forget to lock the kitchen's back door. Attackers on the blockchain don't usually try to fight your bouncer. They just quietly sneak around looking for those wide-open back doors. To fix this, we use something called owners only. Think of it as our unbreakable patent-pending security guard algorithm. Before a function even runs, this modifier steps in and asks, hold on a second, does the person making this call, the MSG.sender, actually match the address of the contract's official stored owner? If yes, come on in. If no, the transaction is immediately rejected.
This VIP analogy maps perfectly to our code architecture. Look at the blueprints we've drafted up here. On one side, we have our locked VIP room door. That's our protected administrative state. But floating over on the other side, we have that unguarded back door. In Solidity terms, this is an unprotected helper function. It happens all the time. Developers will heavily secure their main public functions, but completely forget to restrict the visibility of the internal helper functions that actually do all the heavy lifting. If a hacker finds that exposed helper function, they just bypass your main door entirely. The whole shebang is compromised.
Let's move from theory into practice. We're going to put on our detective hats and inspect a deliberately flawed contract called admin_sol. Now, this contract is supposed to manage a payout address and an emergency mode, but the blueprint is literally riddled with architectural mistakes. Our job is to spot the vulnerabilities before the bad actors do.
Okay, take a really close look at these two snippets because the mistakes are massive. First up, we have the main function, set payout. Notice anything missing? Yep, it's completely lacking our onlyOwner security guard. Literally anyone on the internet can call it. And honestly, it gets even worse. We have a helper function called _setPayout, you can tell by that little underscore, but it was accidentally declared as public. In the advanced learning programs at Forge College, we call this a classic visibility blunder. By making a sensitive helper function public, you've essentially just broadcasted the exact location of your open backdoor to the entire blockchain.
Which brings us to Section 2, fixing the blueprint and locking down access. Let's patch things up. The doors are wide open, so it's time to apply some fresh ink to our diagrams and fix the architecture. To do this correctly, we follow a really rigorous 3-step debugging workflow. Step 1, we reproduce the vulnerability. We actually write a test to prove, without a doubt, that an attacker can steal the keys. Step 2, we apply precise fixes. We aren't rewriting the whole contract here. We just surgically fix the broken locks. And Step 3, we verify with expanded tests. We scientifically prove our fixes actually work. This structured approach to troubleshooting is exactly how professional auditors operate, and it's a core methodology you'll find woven throughout our curriculum.
So let's apply our first precise fix. We're locking the back door. We're taking that flawed, wide-open public helper, and we're changing a single critical word. We are changing the visibility from public to internal. So what does internal actually do? Well, it tells the Ethereum virtual machine that this function can only be called from inside the contract itself. External users, attackers, random other smart contracts, they can no longer see or interact with this function at all. That kitchen door is now heavily bolted shut.
Now let's build on that for our next fix. We bolted the back door short, but the front door was still totally unguarded. So we take our set payout function and we slap our security guard right on the front of it. Set payout, public onlyOwner. Now the function is still technically public, meaning anyone out there can try to call it, but the very moment they do, the owner only modifier intercepts the call. If their address doesn't perfectly match the owner's address, boom, they get kicked out immediately.
Awesome. Let's move to Section 3, verification and testing.
It's time to prove these fixes.
Our blueprint is fully updated, the modifiers are in place, the visibility is locked down tight. But you know how it is in Web3, we don't just trust our eyes, we verify with code. When we run our tests simulating an attacker trying to change the payout address, we want a very specific reaction. Not owner. That exact string right there is glorious. It's the exact revert message triggered by our onlyOwner require statement. When you see this text light up in your terminal, it is cryptographic proof that your security guard just successfully swatted away an unauthorized attacker. The crucial point here is that we have to test every single possible angle. This checklist outlines exactly what we need. First up, the unauthorized call. An attacker tries to set the payout. Expected result is that it reverts with not owner. Perfect. Next, the owner call. The actual owner tries to set the payout. Expected result is that it succeeds and updates the state. But look at this last one, because it is absolutely vital. We must test the transfer ownership behavior. If Alice transfers ownership of the contract to Bob, we have to write a test proving that Alice is immediately blocked from making any more changes, and Bob is instantly granted full access. Access control isn't static, you guys. It moves, and our tests must rigorously verify that movement.
Let's wrap things up with Section 4, Security Takeaways and Access Control Rules. We've spotted the flaws, we've fixed the code, and we've proven it works with hard data. If you remember anything from today's explainer, let it be these 3 golden rules. Rule number 1, protect public administrative functions. Any function that changes governance, moves funds, or alters the state of your protocol absolutely must have that owner-only guard. Rule number 2, limit helper function visibility. If a function holds privileged logic, mark it internal or private. Never leave that backdoor open. And rule number 3, test access before and after ownership transfers. As we just proved, privileges must perfectly follow the title of ownership. Missing just one of these interconnected principles, that's exactly how silent vulnerabilities creep into smart contracts. So, we've secured the contract so that only the owner can act. But I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question to think about. What happens if a massive emergency hits the protocol and the owner needs to instantly pause everything to stop a drain? You can't just rely on standard ownership for that. You need an emergency brake. And that is exactly what we're going to tackle in our next explainer on the pausable pattern. To dive deeper into that and to really continue mastering Web3 development, make sure to visit forge.college. There is a whole world of structured learning waiting for you right there. Thank you so much for learning with me today on the Foundry by Forge College, and I will see you in the next explainer.